Hey there and welcome back to my channel. It's Lorena here. For those of you who are new, I am a kindergarten teacher. So in this week's video, which I'm super excited about, I'm going to be sharing with you some activities that I've been doing this week with my kiddos. I don't know if it's the kindergarten teacher in me, but I really do enjoy sharing activities and resources and things like that with other people who are genuinely interested in getting some of this information. So in this week's video, like I said before, I'm going to be sharing with you a few of the activities that I did with my students this week. Again, they are very literacy and math based and a few fun things here and there because these are the things that I do with them during our live instructional time. So if you kind of are in a little jam where you're like, what do I do with my kids? Or if you need just something new, hopefully you get some ideas and some inspiration from this video. So here we go. Alright, so the first activity, and I believe I've shared this before, is using Play-doh as your resource, as your best manipulative for your kiddos. So what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and either if you want to focus on a sight word or on a letter of the week, kind of instruct the kiddos as to how to do it, and you're going to form the letter or the word using Play-doh. This is super quick, very low prep, and the kids really enjoy it. Some of your students, you're going to notice that they do finish sooner, so what I have them do is draw something that reflects either the word or the sight word. So for example, if we're doing the sight word play, and after they're done molding it and writing it on the bottom, what I have them do is draw a picture of something that they like to play, and then afterwards we can talk about it. And this is just kind of a great way for them to get them to think, get them to make word associations, and also just so that they're not just sitting there on the screen, but they're actually doing something that is productive and purposeful. All right, so I also tried to introduce a letter F book that we were all reading together, and now this was an epic fail. I tried to get a kind of like a letter book, and that way we can all read it as a whole group, and I learned that never again. I did have some kids that were super engaged and focused, but then other kids weren't as engaged. It didn't spark their interest as much as I guess I thought it did. So a lesson for me is we're keeping any sort of books, like reading in small groups, guided reading, because that wasn't a fail. But I nipped it right there, and then we just kind of went on to Play-doh, and all was well in the world. So the other activity I'm going to share with you is Jamboard. As you know, Jamboard is amazing, and I've used it daily during my instructional time. So what I did was I created a search and find kind of thing where I put different numbers, and once I sent out the link, I asked students to find a certain number. So it definitely was a little wild, but it was engaging. They had fun. They were searching for the numbers, and it's getting them used to using Jamboard more often in a way that is not just as a whiteboard, but as a way for them to interact with me. So pretty much what I did was I just found a whole bunch of Google clip art with different numbers from 1 through 10. I sent them the link during our live meet, and then I said, okay, so and so, find the number 7, find the number 6. They would circle it and they would find it, and we just kept going until we, found all of our numbers.
Oh, good job finding the number 5.
And you can do this with pretty much anything, sight words, numbers, pictures, objects, and it's super quick prep, and something to kind of have. I always say you should always have these go-to activities, and this is one of my go-tos. These little search and finds, these scavenger hunts that are a little bit more interactive and fun. All right, so the next thing, and this is, I use paint a lot because it's something that they have. It's something different, something that they're not using every day. So when we do use paint, they are super excited, they're more engaged, they love to show their artwork. So what I did was similar to the Jamboard, was a search and find, but with sight words. And the last word is go. Now we're going to use our paint. The first color we're going to use is red. Paint the word see red. So what I did was I had each of them take out a white sheet of paper, and they were following what I was writing on Jamboard on their paper. So if I would write the word play on the top left, they would also write that on their paper in the same exact position. After they were done writing all of the words, and I think I did only about 6 or 7 words, I went ahead and told them, take out your paint. We're going to paint the words. So Let's find the word play. We're gonna paint that in red. Let's find the word have. We're gonna paint that in yellow. So on and so forth until it was completed. And it actually ended up looking very nice, their final projects, because it was different colors and it was nice. It was a fun time. It was a different way of them to identify their sight words. So another thing that I had them do was the sight word play. That's our new word of the week. So what they did is they got a white sheet of paper out and they wrote the word play with a line in the bottom where they were going to write it a few times. After they were done writing it, what they did was they just grabbed their watercolors and they kind of just traced over it with their watercolor paint. This is something that we would have done in the classroom as a center with the Dab Daughters, with the hole punch, but because really the only supply that they have at home that is a little different is paint, I figured let's keep on using paint. So another activity that is definitely a go-to in the classroom virtually, you can literally do this anywhere, are directed drawings. So this week we're learning about the letter F and we're learning about Arctic animals, hibernation, and all that stuff. So luckily, I was able to kind of infuse the two content areas and we're going to do a directed drawing of a fox. So I started it off by reading a story to them on Get Epic, which was all about foxes. It was a nonfiction text. I always confuse fiction and nonfiction. It was a nonfiction text and it was about red foxes and we read it. They were really engaged because it was a super quick read. I didn't read everything that was on the book. I kind of focused on the things that I figured they would really understand and grasp. So I just focused on those facts about the red foxes. And then afterwards we did a directed drawing, as you can see behind me. And this was free on TPT. It was from Amy Lemons and she has a directed drawing that you can follow. I had that up on my second screen and then I just kind of drew. I'm not an artist by any means. So these directed drawings are great because it literally tells you how to draw it step by step in a way that is super easy. F. Can you see that? F. What letter makes ah? O for octopus. Fox on top, kind of infusing the letter of the week, CBC words, letter sounds, all those fun things that go into learning in kindergarten. So if you are doing sort of like what I do, which is a letter a week, I think that a directed drawing specific to that letter would be wonderful. It is something that it's something that you will be able to do every single week and your kids are going to be so excited because they love drawing, especially if it's like a cute critter or something that they're super into, like if you're doing R and maybe you draw Roblox. I don't know, something like that. I think they would love it. So something that I talked about in my previous video was making snow, and we finally were able to do it. I sent out a message to all of my parents on Class Dojo the week that we were going to do it on Monday, and I told them, please have these materials ready for Friday. I really want your child to participate. I know that I had said previously that I was probably going to make it just a small group, but I figured that for the most part, the parent participation as far as getting them the materials that they need is pretty good. So I asked them in advance, please bring these materials in for Friday, and we did it, and it was so much fun. They absolutely loved it, as did I. The sensory aspect of it. What do you think we're gonna make today? Snowflakes. We're going not to make snowflakes, we're going to make snow.
No.
What?
I'm excited for the snow.
Me too. We're gonna make snow. Okay? Conditioner. What letter says
Rainbow.
Rainbow. Thank you, Marta. So we have conditioner, right? What else are we gonna use today? What is this called? Baking soda. We also made a recipe card for it, kind of like the ingredients step by step, so I was able to infuse the literacy components of it, science and math, and it was just a great time. And the great thing about this is it's only four things that they need: baking soda, conditioner, a bowl, and a spoon or something to mix with if they want to. So try this out. I thought it was great. They had an amazing time, and it's something that they're going to remember. So consider doing this one. So I know that during virtual learning, one of the biggest things that teachers have been using are scavenger hunts, which are phenomenal. And they're great. I absolutely love using them. But I found something else that my kids were so into. They were super engaged. They were so excited. And these are Guess the Pictures. There are many free ones on TPT, and there are also ones that you can purchase. So pretty much the concept of it is that you take a few slides to kind of have the kids guess what picture it could be. So you can clip a part of. So for example, if you have a giant picture of a giraffe, you can clip a small portion of it very zoomed in. Then on the second slide, they can see a little bit better and better. And they're kind of guessing what it could be.
Let's see. What is it?
I'm thinking now, you can also do this with letters, have them identify the letters from a far view. So maybe if they see a certain part of a letter, they're able to identify it. You can definitely infuse that aspect of it into your literacy lesson. You can do it for math with numbers and shapes and all of these different things. So Guess the Picture is my new thing, and I absolutely love it. And if you haven't done it yet, consider doing it. You can make this on your own, or you can purchase it online if that's the easier route for you. So Guess the Picture, try it out, and let me know how that goes for you. So something that I am kind of honing in on now is CVC words and emphasizing the sounds that each letter makes, putting the sounds together to make one word. So I'm going to hone in on that as a whole group. And the way that I did it was, I had them spell out a word. We kind of did the dots underneath. We were able to kind of hit the Play-doh with it, and then afterwards we drew a picture to go with the word. While this wasn't my favorite lesson, I did think that infusing the Play-doh when spelling out the CBC words and having them draw a picture to go with it was a way for them to kind of get more meaning out of this lesson, and was a way for them to practice this skill. So for math, if you are practicing addition as I am, and it's still a little tricky for them to kind of understand addition, so I am going to be using my red and yellow counters with them. I'm going to have them fold their paper into fourths, and I'm going to model to them what they're going to be drawing on their paper.
Red?
Yep.
Okay, I got it red.
We're going to do 2 red circles. 1, 2 red circles.
Rectangle.
And we're going to make 3 yellow circles. 1, 2, 3. So we have 2 red and 3 yellow. All right, kindergarten. Now we're doing addition. We have to put it together. We're gonna go ahead and put it together. All together.
5.
And then they're going to represent that on their sheet of paper, and then we're gonna put it all together. That's a big word that I've been using with them, all together, in all, to kind of get, familiar with addition. And I keep noticing that I keep using my hands, and I said I wasn't gonna do that, but it's so hard. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the kindergarten teacher in me or the Latin in me. Whatever the case may be, I'm gonna try to get better at that. So if you are doing addition, consider using manipulatives, having them just kind of represent what they see on the screen onto their own sheet of paper. That way they're not just watching you, but they're able to kind of transfer that information to where they can see it and how they can manipulate it on their own. Oh, and if you're doing addition, I'm gonna share with you a song that I use with my kids, which is super cheesy. And excuse my voice, I'm probably gonna have to edit this out, but here we go. So it goes like this. Addition, we're adding, we're putting it together, woo, woo. And I do this before we start any addition lesson, during the lesson to kind of reinforce. And this is kind of that whole like TPR thing where they're putting it together and then it makes the plus sign. And I also made something else. And I just used yellow cardstock and paper that I had, and I just folded this. So pretty much what I have taught them is that whenever we see the plus sign, it's putting things together. So it's kind of like has a hands, and you know, it's putting things together. And whenever I take this out, they're able to tell me, what is the addition sign doing? So if you're also kind of noticing that your kids maybe aren't grasping it, maybe this could be like serve as a visual cue. And I'm all about songs, so doing an addition song that's quick and easy and it has like the hand gestures is super great. I also do the same thing for the equal sign. So if we're reading an addition sentence, I would say 3 plus 2 equals, and then they would give me their response. So when they're doing the hand motions, they're able to connect the words that they're saying, that they're repeating after me, with a physical movement, which goes again with the whole total physical response theory approach of teaching. So yeah, those are just some addition tips that maybe you can infuse into your math instruction. And another activity that I have been doing, and this is if we have an extra 5 minutes, I think I've showed this in a previous video as well, but if you didn't get to watch it, pretty much what you're going to do, and again, any concept, letters, numbers, shapes, whatever it may be. And I got this idea from Teaching with No Frills. If you don't have her on Instagram, if you don't follow her, I would suggest that you do. So pretty much you're going to be writing different numbers, letters, shapes, whatever the case may be. And they're going to write it in the same position where you do it. So you would tell them, okay, we're going to erase the number with our finger. They're putting their finger over it. So you say, let's find the number 3. So then they're going to go ahead and trace it according to the formation of the number. They're not just gonna go, you know, left to right, but it's with the formation of the number. And this is quick. This is literally no prep, and it's fun, it's engaging. They love erasing with their hands. I don't know what it is about it, but they absolutely love it. So why not use something that they love and incorporate it into a content area that they could, you know, use additional practice with. All right, so that's it for this week's video. I do hope that you know, were able to take away some ideas. If you have any other ideas, any other suggestions, maybe some ways that I can modify these activities, leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your suggestions and your ideas. And until next time, happy learning, and I